Hello, my friends. Happy Friday. Welcome to episode 135 of Why Did I Buy This? This series started as a way to help crafters find unique ways to use the products that are in their collections. It's also a great series for new crafters who are wondering what they need to get started. My name is Lindsay. I am the team leader of Cloud9 Stampers. I have been a demonstrator for 20 years, and so there is a very special promotion that I'm running this month. If you place an order that is greater than $60, you will receive a bling bag in the mail. What's a bling bag, you may ask? It's a big packet of supplies valued at a minimum of $60. It's more. And I just have a few bags left. So if you're interested in receiving a bling bag in March in honor of my 20th anniversary, you'll want to go to my online store and shop. So you'll want it to total at least $60 before the shipping and tax. If you live local, you can make arrangements to pick it up here. And if you live elsewhere in Canada, we can ship it to you by Canada Post. The ranges of prices that from what I've been shipping so far are between like $16 to $20, just to give you a feel for that. Hello, Winnipeg. Hello, Deborah. How are you? Good to see you. Yes, please say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you're watching the replay. It's always nice to know I'm not talking to myself. Oh, that does happen too. Hello, Joy. Yeah, so the other thing is on my Instagram, I have been revisiting old photos of the last 20 years. So if you want to see your pal back when she was 20-ish and starting with Stampin' Up, you can see. Of course, the funniest part about all that is people keep talking about how different I look, and I'm like, yeah, I was 20 years younger, right? So anyway, yeah, one does look 20, different when there's 20 years there. But anyway, hello, Deanna. So hello, Corinne, yay! Woohoo! The notifications are doing its job. Hello from New Jersey. Hello, Ethel. Okay, so today I am bringing out a product that I have talked a lot about in my videos recently because I've been having so much fun with it. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to bite the bullet and do a whole video on this product because it's just so much fun. It's from our mini catalog. Now, as a reminder, our mini catalog ends at the end of April, so you only have about one more month with it. The other thing to pay attention to is Stampin' Up! Is doing a color refresh at the end of April, beginning of May. So, couple of things. If you have in colors, and they are the Pale Papaya, Soft Succulent, Evening Evergreen, Polished Pink, Fresh Freesia, if you have one of those 5 colors and you want an ink refill, paper, or you just haven't gotten around to buying a favorite, now is the time, because once we put those on the retiring list, they tend to sell out like that. So I'm giving you your heads up that you're gonna wanna do that now and not later. The other thing is when you see the color refresh, those ones are going to sell out quickly as well. So I'm giving you guys the fair warning to watch for the release of that because you're gonna wanna get those colors if you have refills that you need to get. A good recommendation would be go ahead and purchase those things now. So that could count towards your $60 purchase and get you a bling bag in March from me, okay? All right, you've been warned, right? Yeah, you guys all are nodding. Yeah, you've been warned. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know they're beautiful greens, aren't they? Yes, I agree. Soft Succulent is one of my favorites, and Early Evergreen is beautiful. So, okay, my friends, I'm gonna do the awkward transition. I just noticed a couple of things I have to slide over. This is like where I had a busy morning. So anyway, not your problem, but I'm a little bit behind. If you noticed, I'm joining a few minutes late. Now is the time if you want to share this video, go ahead and hit share and then your friends can join in with you. It's a really nice compliment for me if you share this video. So go ahead and do that now while I'm doing the awkward transition. All right, ready? And okay. So we're gonna slide into my stand. So you're like, oh, that's what we're doing today. Yes, the Vellum Designs 12 by 12 Specialty Designer Series paper. Long name, cute paper. It is wonderful. So I'm a huge fan of Vellum anyway. When you add printed vellum, that just makes me swoon. So you can see there's leaves, there's polka dots, and there are diagonal lines. I am a very big fan of diagonal lines. I just think every paper should have diagonal lines in it. It's really fun for framing things. So I'm just gonna bring in a piece of cardstock really quick. So do you see what I mean? When you put it as a frame around something, you get that really fun pattern, just as an aside. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started on the first project. So this time I'm going to bring in the leaf vellum, and the key is to try to figure out what side the printing is on. So the printing is on this side. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to bring in my Granny Apple Green colors here. So I have my light Granny Apple Green. And on the back side of the vellum, we're just going to go ahead and color with our blends. So as you guys know, our blends, being alcohol markers, are great for sticking to any substrate. So vellum is one of those ones that our classic ink, our dye-based ink, has a trouble drying on. I mean, it will eventually, but it takes like a hot sec. So this is just a way that you can go ahead and color onto the vellum. So when I flip it over, you can see that color shining through on the leaves. So I'm going to bring in a piece of Granny Apple Green cardstock. So this is going to layer behind, and you'll notice I didn't go all the way to the edges because I was kind of giving you like an artsy kind of feel with the coloring. Now I'm going to bring in basic white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp with the Happier Than Happy stamp set. So this is one of our $1 Million Achievers stamp sets. So when a demonstrator reaches $1 million in sales, they have the opportunity to design a stamp set, which is so much fun. They work with the Stampin' Up! Designers and come up with something. I've always wondered what I would design for that. I'm not too far off from my $1 million, but it's like far enough that it won't be this year. But like nature is totally my thing. So I always have identified with this stamp set. So I'm going to bring in the bear, and I'm going to use soft succulent, and not soft succulent. What am I saying? Soft suede. I have soft succulent on the brain because it's retiring. Okay. So we're going to stamp just like that. Oh, so cute. And you guys know that whenever I use something that has a face, I like to add cheeks. And my favorite is from the Naturals collection. So this one is SU1000. We're just going to go ahead and add cheeks to our bear. Like right away, you've got the cutest little thing ever by adding cheeks. Can you guys see that? Now there is a die to be able to cut this out, so we're going to cut that out. And then the other thing we're going to do is add a tree. So this is also from the same stamp set. And I'm just going to do that over here because we're going to, you know, cut it out just like that. So use our dies to cut those two things out. And now I'm going to skip ahead to the finale because this one is a pretty simple card. So here we've got the finished card. So you can see I die cut the bear, die cut the tree, and I also added another solid die cut. Here you can see is the colored vellum that we've added as the background piece. And then I used the leaves from the die collection to be able to do both silhouettes and the detailed leaves. And then I used my marker to be able to just add these little dots like that. That way you can control where they are and you're not going to ruin the tip of your marker if that's something that you've been struggling with when you want to add splatter. So that's the first little card that we're going to work on today. The second card has some more techniques involved in it, so let's get started on that one. So for this one, I have a piece of the polka dot vellum, and I've cut it out with the new online exclusive dies. So when I say online exclusive, what I mean is that you won't find them. Oh, Corinne is asking, did you use a blender pen to blend out the bear? No, I did not. This is just exactly how it stamps. It's just a really brilliant stamp. So the online exclusives, you won't find them in any paper copies of our catalog, but you will find them on my online store. You can also email me the code and I can order things for you from the online exclusives. It just means you're not going to find them in print. So this is one of the ones that was released at the beginning of March. It's called the Radiating Stitches Dies, and I did a whole live about that recently, so you can go back into the video section of my Facebook page or onto my YouTube channel and you will be able to see that there. All right, so I've got that cut out, and now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to add a few colors. So the colors that I need are on the other table. So we're going to use Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to add Pumpkin Pie. And it's funny, when you see what color I'm going to coordinate with this with, you'll be like wowed and amazed, because it's not going to end up the color that I'm putting on now. So again, you could just go ahead and layer that onto something. You're going to have those colors. But I'm going to take my alcohol and I'm going to spray, and it's going to cause those colors to interact. The alcohol and the alcohol markers will interact together. And so it's going to create this fun technique. You guys have seen this before, I'm sure, where we're just going to do alcohol vellum. So you kind of want to have like a little bit of dripping happening. It makes it look more artistic. So I'm going to speed up the process with my heat tool, but really if you could let it dry on its own is when you're going to get the nicest effects. So see how those colors all mesh together? Looks so cool. Just like that. So now when we flip it over, we get that look. Very cool. Okay, we're going to set that aside for now. Next, I'm going to bring in a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 inch basic white cardstock, and I'm going to use some stamps from the Best Butterflies stamp set. This is from the annual catalog. So we only have a couple of months left with our annual catalog. I think May 1st is when our new one comes out. So our retiring list is going to be coming out soon for that. So just pay attention to that one too. So there's going to be lots of information coming out by the beginning of April. So Best Butterflies also comes with a die set, and this is what that looks like. So really fun, bold shapes within those butterflies. And I am going to take the spots, kind of working within that polka dot theme, and I'm going to use my vellum, my Versamark, another V word, and we're going to stamp a few polka dots like that, and we're going to do some up in the corner here too. Okay. And now I'm going to use the white embossing powder. We're just going to sprinkle that over top of our Versamark. So Versamark is a really great ink for embossing. It stays sticky for a few minutes. And with that stickiness, you can grab onto that really fine plastic that is embossing powder, or whatever it's made out of. I have no idea what it's made out of. It seems like it's plastic because it melts. We'll use our heat tool, and we're going to heat that and melt it. You'll know it's finished when it's all shiny, so you can see those ones are starting to melt. I don't know if you can tell through the video or not, but we've got some quick embossing happening. Once your heat tool is hot, it does tend to go faster, which is nice. So these ones here, we're melting those. Okay. So now we've got that embossing, so you can see the shiny polka dots. Next, we're gonna bring in our Bitty Baby blending brush. That's not what it's called. It's called Mini Blending Brush, maybe? And we're gonna use our lovely pale papaya. So remember I said, you're not going to believe what color I'm going to mix this with. So pale papaya is one of our retiring colors. I love these baby blending brushes because they just have a lot of control as to where you put the ink. And so I'm adding pale papaya over these embossed polka dots. And this is a technique called embossing resist. So wherever the embossing is on the paper, it's going to resist the ink. And so you see the white shine through. So we just have the pale papaya. It's subtle, but it's so pretty. So same thing over here. We're going to go right over top of those polka dots. And we're going to have that pop through the ink. Oh, I love it. Okay. So doesn't that look cool? Yes. So next, we are going to bring in some dies that I've already pre-cut. So I've got the pieces of our butterfly, like that. And I'm going to just try to line it up because, you know, why wouldn't you do that on TV? Okay, we're going to do one side. Normally I would stamp and then emboss. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. But we're going to just make it work because you guys want to see it, right? Now we're using polished pink, another retiring in color. I love this pink. Okay, nice and bright. Oh, this is probably the wrong dye, but that's okay. It's going to stamp bigger than it. Yeah, it's fine. You guys forgive me. All right, so next we're going to bring in our base layer and we're going to start to assemble this bad boy. I have a greeting from the same stamp set. And this one says, sending good vibes. I do love the nice, bold, kind of retro feel of the greeting. So we're just going to stamp that at the top in black. And then we'll build off of the vellum, and then we'll know where to put our adhesive because we can hide it. Because one of the things to keep in mind about vellum is you have to have something to tuck adhesive behind, otherwise it shows through and it doesn't look quite as clean. So we're going to use dimensionals to hold up our little butterfly, and we're going to start. This one is going to go here, and then we'll do this one below. Okay, and like that. And then we're going to use the body and add a little bit of glue. And this is going to go here. So building the butterfly is super simple, right? I love that. Then you just have to give the glue a few seconds to dry. Okay, so now I'm going to add one of my black matte dots. And that's going to be a place that I'm going to hide some of my glue behind because I'm going to be strategic with the vellum. Okay, so this is going to go here and here. And then I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to use my tape. Now, the hard part about using multi-purpose glue on vellum is it tends to dry not flat because it sort of stretches the vellum from being wet. So what I like to do is if I can avoid using it too much, I don't put like the bigger parts with the multi-purpose glue. Does that make sense? Okay, so then this is going to stick down here. Like that. Okay, let's skip ahead and I'll show you the finished project. So here I mounted it onto the pale papaya cardstock and added a little bit more of the matte black dots. And here you can see what it looks like when you use the correct dye. And added a little bit of a black border to kind of play into that retro feel. So that is project number 2. Okay, we're going to move on to the PYP card. So this one was inspired by a card my friend Meg Loven gave me, and I really, really liked it. I forgot about this technique, so it was fun to be reminded. So we're going to bring in a piece of the vellum. So this is the diagonal vellum. So I've given you a project with each of the 3 patterns of the vellum. So on this one, I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue. So again, we're going to be kind of conservative with how much we put on. You can see I'm really trying to not put too much on. We don't want it to warp. And I'm going to use my grid paper to help me line it up and make it straight. So we're going to add a strip, and then we'll add another one. So these are a great way to use up any card scraps you might have. Are you somebody who likes to hold on to your card scraps? You're like, no, I can't get rid of them. Okay, this is a good way to use up those scraps. So I've got pumpkin pie, I've got granny apple green, and I've got Bermuda Bay. And we're just gonna repeat that. And you'll just keep going all the way down. Once you're done, you're going to get this. Okay. And then I'm using the circle that is from the, no, what is it called? Right here. Stylish shaped dies. This is what always trips me up. I always think they're stitched in this one. Stylish shaped dies. Okay. Whew. Okay, Deanna, good. You've got scraps that you can do this technique with. Okay, so we've cut that out, and so then we get this circle. All right, so we're going to bring in a piece of basic white, and this is going to layer on top here. Now, the stamp set that we're going to use is the, where did it go? It's the Share a Milkshake stamp set and the dies. So here you can see are the dies to be able to cut out the images for the Share a Milkshake. I do have the stamps out. I just don't know where I put the whole stamp set. That's fine. So we're going to bring in a piece of basic white, and we're going to stamp in Pool Party the ice cream part of it. And we're going to cut that out with the die. And we're going to bring in a piece of Bermuda Bay, and we're going to stamp that. Oh no, this is Coastal Cabana, and we're going to stamp the cup. So we're working within those tones. So then we're going to die cut those out to get those 2 things. And now let's bring in the vellum. So again, we're going to work off the vellum so that we can use that to disguise how we're going to add it to the page. So I'm going to use my dimensional to pop this up. We want to get lots of dimension on this project. And this is going to go here. And then this little ice cream part is going to go here. Like that. And then we're going to bring back in the basic white piece, and we're going to use that center and our stripes to be able to raise it up. So I'm going to use a couple of big dimensionals behind where our ice cream is, and I'm going to use a couple of mini dimensionals behind our stripes, just so we can get that really nice shadow effect. It's like floating stripes. Okay, and we'll pull off any of our backings. Just like that. Oh, tweezers, smart. Corinne says she uses her tweezers for the mini dimensionals to lift them off the page. I like that idea. Okay, so now we've got this really fun lifted technique. So I'm going to skip ahead and show you the finished project. And here you can see I've added a spoon, and again, just used my blends to add a couple of dots in the background and added the Celebrate. So let me show you the projects one more time. So here we've got the floating circle with the diagonal striped vellum. Here we've got the polka dot vellum that we've done the alcohol background technique on. And here we've got the blends that are coloring the background so that the leaves really show. And if you're thinking to yourself, Lindsay, why don't I have these products? You can head to my online store and shop away. If you use the host code and your order reaches $60, you will receive a bling bag. Yeah, it's a tongue twister. A bling bag in the mail. And for those of you who've already received your bling bags, the feedback I've been getting has been so fun. I'm so glad that you're happy with all of the incredible goodies that are in there. Every single person has written to me to say, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff in here. So if you're one of those people who would love to get a surprise in the mail, go ahead and place an order. This is ending at the end of March because this is purely just for my 20th anniversary. I don't usually do giveaways this huge. Okay, so friends, now is your time to go ahead and do that. Okay, have an amazing, amazing weekend. I hope you get to enjoy some spring weather, and I hope you get in to do some crafting in your life. All right, my friends, bye for now.